Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Al International School, Jeddah Virtual Learning Classroom. Today you have Grammar, Unit 6, Lesson 2, Quotation Marks. Instructions, listen to the lesson's explanations. Open your book, RWN on page 499, 504. Check your answers. Give yourself a star for each correct answer. Today's standards. Concord Standards Language 2 demonstrate comment of the conventions of standard English, capitalization, punctuation, and spell when writing. Objectives: by the end of the period, you will be able to circle the quotation marks in sentences. You will use quotation marks and punctuation correctly. You will identify and use quotation marks in writing. Quotation marks. What are quotation marks? Look, how do they look? This is like the comma, but it comes in pairs, two commas, and this is inverted commas. This the first two looks like 66, and the last two looks like 99. What are quotation marks? Quotation marks show or indicates the beginning and ending of the words that someone says. If I'm telling or I'm reporting someone's speech, what I will use them before, at the beginning, and at the end of the direct speech of the speaker. The speaker's name and words such as said and asked are not inside the quotation marks. They look like commas in verbs. We should separate what is being said from who said, or the one who is talking, using comma before the first quotation mark if the one who speaks is at the beginning of the sentence, and before the second quotation if the one who is speaking comes last. Let's check the example. Sam said, "I can do it." We should. This is the one who speaks. The one who speaks. I should separate the one who speaks from what is being said. This is what's being said. I will separate them using the comma, while I will use quotation marks to indicate the exact word of the person who speaks. Exact word. I can do it. If I change the place of Sam said, what will change? Look here, at the period should be inside the quotation marks. This is the ending mark. The most important thing that I should use a capital letter at the beginning and an ending mark related to the sentence. If I have a statement, I will use period. If I have a question, it should be question mark. If I have exclamatory sentence, I should use exclamation mark. If I change the place of Sam said, here, Sam said, place at the beginning. Here, it comes at the end of the sentence. What changes should be done? This is the exact word. I put it between the inverted commas or between the quotation marks. Here I use comma instead of period because the statement did not finish yet. The statement did not finish yet. So I will use the period at the end of the sentence to end the sentence. Here I use the comma because the statement is still going on. Can I take your book? This is a question. That's why we use a question mark. Remember, the ending mark should be between the quotation marks. I use with the direct speech of the speaker, the quotation marks here at the beginning, at the end. The question mark should be before the ending quotation mark. Asked Harry. And the period will be here because this is the end of our sentence. Oh, what a wonderful story. Here we have exclamatory sentence. I should use exclamation mark. And I should place before the ending quotation mark. This is the beginning because this is the exact word of the speaker, said Malik. Okay. Let's go to another example. You can do it, said my dad. I will try my best, she said. You can do it. This is sorry. This is the exact word of that. Let's place the here in this sentence, said my dad, placed last. Let's change the place of said my dad. It will be my dad said. Okay, I should separate what's being said from the one who speaks with a comma. Yes. Then, what is the exact word of that? Now I'll put the first quotation mark. Yes, you. Don't forget to start with a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. You can do it. This is the end of my sentence. This is the end of my sentence. So I will put a period, end of the statement. Then I'll put the quotation marks. Yes. What if I change the second sentence? I'll try my best, she said. Let's try to place the first. Yes, I'll try my best. She said. Then separate what's being said, or the one who is speaking, from what's being said. I separate them using comma. Then I will use the quotation marks to write here exact word. I will keep space between the words. I will try my best. Then, because it's the end of my statement, I will use the period. Okay. This is the, if I change the place of the speaker. Let's check another example. Yeah, let's read this example together. I'm going to the store now. Look at the quotation mark. If I want to indicate the direct speech of the speaker, this is the direct speech of the speaker. Okay? And this is what she said, so and so. So I indicate, I put them between the quotation marks. This is the meaning of what is being said before. So if I'm not conveying, I'm not telling the exact words, no need to use the quotation marks. I'm not using the speaker's exact words. Here, this is the meaning of her sentence, so no need to use the quotation marks if I'm telling the meaning, not the exact word. Harry told me, don't forget to your soccer match. Where is Harry's exact word? Yeah, this is the exact speech of Harry. I place the quotation mark at the beginning and at the end. Don't forget to use the ending mark. And this is related to the sentence. If I have statement, I will use period. If I have period or comma, if I place the name last. Yes, question mark or exclamation mark. Harry told me not to forget my soccer match. So this is the meaning of Harry's sentence. I did not tell his exact word. Okay, if I'm telling the meaning of his word, so no need to use the quotation marks. We will learn a new lesson, said our teacher. What are the exact words of our teacher? Yes, they will be this. We'll learn new lesson. Exact word of our teacher. Here we use the comma to separate her speech from who is speaking. The speech from who is speaking. Who wants ice cream? Asked mom. What's the exact word of mom? Yes. Who wants ice cream? So I use the quotation. This is a question. I use quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. And don't forget the ending mark of the question mark. This is the meaning of mom's question, the meaning, not the exact word, so we did not use the quotation marks here. Mom asked if we want ice cream. What a big elephant. What a big elephant. This is the exact words of Ahmed. Yeah. We use quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. Don't forget the exclamation mark before the ending quotation marks. Let's have some practice. Yes. Why this is not? We need to clear this first. Okay, let's practice. First of all, I want you to help me locate what is the exact word. What is the exact word? And we will locate the speaker. Where is the speaker? Okay, the flag stands for our country. Flag stands for our country. What is the exact speech of Lewis? So Lewis said, exact speech of Lewis, exact word, this. So the quotation mark should be at the beginning. At the beginning of his speech and at the end. Sorry, I can't draw well and using this tool. Henry asked, how do you feel when you see the flag? What is the exact word of Henry? How do you feel when you see the flag? Yes. So I would place the quotation marks at the beginning of this, of Harry's speech, here and here, after the question mark, of course. Aaron said, I feel proud. This is what did Aaron say? So I can place the quotation mark at the beginning of her speech and at the end. I think it's clear. Okay, let's go. Here's an interesting video. It will sum up what did we have, what are quotation marks, and how can we use them. Let's watch it together.
Today we're going to be talking about quotation marks. First off, we need to know what quotation marks are. Quotation marks are punctuation marks that are used to show someone's exact words when we're writing. Quotation marks also help us to know when someone is speaking. What do quotation marks look like? Quotation marks look very similar to commas. One big difference is they come in pairs. So our first set of quotation marks look like two commas that have been pushed together and flipped upside down. They also look very similar to the number 66. These are our beginning quotation marks, and these always go at the beginning of any dialogue in our story. The second set of quotation marks goes at the end of our dialogue. They also look like two commas pushed together, or the number 99. When do we use quotation marks? We use quotation marks whenever we want to write exactly what someone is saying. You can find quotation marks used in lots of places. You can find them in fiction and nonfiction books. You can find them in newspapers, You can even find them in magazine articles.
We
Take a minute to find a book, or a magazine, or a newspaper. See if you can find where they've used quotation marks in their writing. How do we use quotation marks correctly? Remember, quotation marks are used so that the reader understands exactly what is being said by the characters in the story. In our example below, Sarah said, "I hope we can go outside today." Sarah is our character, and what is being said is, "I hope we can go outside today." The portion underlined in blue is what needs to go inside the quotation marks. Remember, there are two sets of quotation marks that we need to add. Our first set of quotation marks go at the beginning of the dialogue. In this example, "I" is the first thing that Sarah says, so the quotation marks need to go in front of the word "I." We also need quotation marks at the end of the dialogue. In this example, "Today" is the last word that Sarah says, so our quotation marks go after the word "today." There are a few other things that we need to think about when using quotation marks and writing dialogue. We need to make sure that whatever sentence is being said by our characters has an ending mark. In this example, we use the period at the end of the sentence, "I hope we can go outside today." Another punctuation mark we need is a comma. We always have a comma to separate who is speaking and what is being said. In this example, "Sarah said" is who is speaking, and "I hope we can go outside today" is what is being said. So the comma needs to go in between the two. Here's another example of a sentence that needs quotation marks. In this example, the person speaking, Jack, comes last, and what's being said, "I think it might rain today," comes first. We still need to add both sets of quotation marks and check our punctuation. So, just as we did in the other example, we need a set of quotation marks at the beginning of what is being said. In this example, "I" is the first word that Jack speaks, so our quotation marks go in front of the word "I." The last thing that Jack says is "today," so our quotation marks go at the end of the sentence as well, behind "today." This lets the reader know that just this portion of the sentence is what Jack is actually saying. We have our period at the end of our sentence, so we're good there, but there's one thing that we can't forget. We need our comma between what is being said and who is speaking. In this case, "today" and "said" is where that is, and we need to put our comma in the middle. Sometimes in our writing, we need to use different types of punctuation depending on what is being said. In the example seen here, "Can you believe it's my birthday already?" asked Molly. Molly is asking a question, and we won't be able to use the comma or period that we've used in the previous examples. Our quotation marks stay the same. We still need a set of quotation marks at the beginning of what is being said and at the end of what is being said. But in this case, since Molly is asking a question, we need to make sure that we have a question mark at the end of her sentence. Notice that I did not change the period at the very end of the sentence after the word Molly. We still need an ending mark to show that this is the end of the completed sentence. Here's a quick review. We always need quotation marks at the beginning and the end of the sentence, here and here. We also need to remember that who is speaking can come at the end and not just at the beginning. We also need to remember to use our ending marks, always at the end of our sentence, and either an exclamation point, period, question mark, or a comma in between what is being spoken and who is speaking. Okay, now it's time to practice. See if you can tell where our quotation marks and punctuation needs to go. Also check for capital letters. Our first sentence, Emma said, "We can always go to the pool." Where should the quotation marks be?
The exact word, "we can always."
You're right. They should go at the beginning of what's being said and at the end. What about in our second example? "Happy birthday," shouted the class. Where should those quotation marks go? Right again. Our quotation marks need to go at the beginning of what is being said and at the end. Now, let's go back and look for anything else that we need to add. In our first example, Emma said, "We can always go to the pool." What needs to be changed, or what should we add? You're right. Our W needs to be a capital because it's the beginning of a sentence. We also need an ending mark at the end of our sentence. And we need a comma between what's being said and who is speaking. Same question for the next sentence. Happy birthday, shouted the class. What else do we need to add?
Exclamation.
You're right. You need an exclamation point after happy birthday. The exclamation point needs to go inside of the quotation marks. Okay, review time. What have we learned so far? We've learned that quotation marks are punctuation marks that show when someone is speaking or what they've said. Quotation marks always come in pairs, and we always put quotation marks at the beginning of what is being said and at the end. There are other punctuation marks that we have to think of when we're using quotation marks. Sometimes we need a comma between who is talking and what is being said. Sometimes we need to add question marks or exclamation marks depending on what is being said, but we always need an ending mark at the end of our sentence.
Okay, we can go to our book, page 499. We need to add quotation marks for each sentence. Let's do it together. To do this, we should specify the exact word said by the person. I don't know what kind of prayer to have said Betsy. What are the words that Betsy said? Yeah, I don't know what kind of prayer to have. This is her exact word, so I can add the quotation marks at the beginning of her speech and at the end. Don't forget to place the comma inside. Remember, we did not put the period here because the statement did not end yet. Second one, Abe said we could have flag parade. Okay, how can, this is the exact word of Abe. So I can add the quotation at the beginning of her speech and at the end. I place the ending mark inside the quotation marks, don't forget that. 3, what is a flag parade? Okay, this is the exact word, ask Francis. Yes, I can add the quotation at the beginning of his speech and at the end. Place the question mark before the ending quotation marks. We could, all we read, white and blue, George said. What is the exact speech, exact word George said? Yes, these are the words. Here and at the end of his speech. Lankland asked, could we all carry flags? What's his direct word? Yeah, could we all carry flags? This is his direct speech. We can use quotation marks here. She said that's a great idea. What are its exact word? Yes. And the quotation marks should be at the beginning of her speech. And at the end. Yes, we are done. If you cannot, if you still have anything, you can check your answers here. Now let's go to page 504. We will choose the correct, we will mark the correct sentence. They write the same sentence 3 times using different places for the quotation marks. We will choose the correct one. Let's go for number 1. Our flag has many nicknames, said Martha. Look at the quotation. They place the quotation at the beginning of the sentence, but where is the ending one? We don't have an ending quotation. So number 1 is not correct. A is not correct, right? Number 2, our flag has many nicknames, said Martha. See, the quotation is here and here. Are they correct? Yes, B is correct. Number 2, look for the quotation. We don't have beginning, start quotation. We have here the ending. Is the star and stripes one of the names? Asked John. Yes. Number 1 is not correct. Number B, we have here, we don't have here. Number C, let's see number C. We have here and we have here. See? Quotation here and quotation at the beginning and at the end of the direct speech. So C is correct. George said, Old Glory, another name for the flag. I have the start beginning before George said and here at the end of the sentence. Is this correct? No, of course not. Here we have at the beginning of George's speech, but we don't have the ending one. So C we have here at the beginning and we have here at the end. So C is the correct. I like red, white, and blue best, Sally said. Here we don't have at the beginning, but we have at the end. B we have at the beginning, we have at the end. So B is the correct one. Thomas asked, why are there 50 stars? We have here and we have here. Is it correct? Excellent. Yes, it's correct. There is 1 star for each state in the United States, Sally said. Which one? This is the beginning and no, of course this is not correct. This one, yes, it's B. B is the correct one. Okay, you can check your answers here. Good. Now let's enjoy the song. It will help us to review what is taught so far. Let's see the song together. Oh, sorry. We will watch the song together.
Learning upgrade.
It's a quick revision.
Use quotation marks around direct speech. The actual words of the speaker. Sarah said, meet me after school. If the quote is a complete sentence, capitalize the first word. Place a comma before the first quotation mark. If the quote comes at the start of a sentence, place a comma before the second quotation mark. Meet me after school, said Sarah. If the quote contains a question mark or an exclamation point, don't add a comma. Come here now, said Anna. A sentence that has no actual spoken words does not need quotation marks. Sarah said that we should wait for her. Use quotation marks around direct speech, the actual words of the speaker. Sarah said, meet me after school.
Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy what did we learn today. Thank you. and goodbye.